Hello, Jen.
Hello, how are you?
So nice to see you again.
It is.
I'm so delighted that you'd agree to be the judge of Brooching the Subject number 3. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. It's wonderful.
And thank you. Tonight's a big night, isn't it, for announcing our winners and highly commended. So I wondered if you'd talk with us about maybe the highly commended.
Okay.
And then up to first prize. But I'm interested to know what you think of the show overall.
Okay. Great diversity in both material practice and in the way in which the artists have approached making their little works. I've looked at them from the viewpoint of an artwork, but on a miniature scale. So what I was looking for was something that went beyond the decorative, something that looked like an artwork but fitted within the format, the criteria of being under 10 by 10 centimetres and also being able to be worn on the body. What I was looking for, I guess, was some form of innovation in the way in which materials were used and the way in which the subject matter was approached. But more significantly, I was looking for small artworks that could convey to me a meaning, so that they literally had a concept that grounded them and that they weren't just a manipulation of materials.
Wonderful. And highly commended for you?
Oh, I've got 4, and I'm going to have to refer to my notes. Linda Stokes. This is a much more expressive manipulation of both stitch and fabric, and I love the way the surfaces go together. But for me it was more about what it evoked. It evoked landscape and earth and rock and a history. It's almost like that's a roadway that passes through it. So while this is probably one of the more traditional pieces that I've chosen, I thought it was just a lovely little piece, and it was very refined and very resolved. So
and congratulations.
Oh, congratulations, Linda. The other one that I've chosen as another highly commended is Kelsey Bryant Dogoods. I chose it because it's actually made of paper, and the title of the work is I Read the News Today. So in this day and age, the news is bombarded, we're surrounded by it, but I love the fact that she's taken that big title, that I Read the News Today, and bound it in. She's rolled paper, stitched the paper, made little pods, almost like pods of information that nest together, and they've formed a little island of solitude, I think, in amongst all this chaos that goes around it. So I really enjoyed that little piece. Okay, so this little piece is so delicate and so fine, but I loved it because of the way the materials was both selected and used. So this is plastic. This is the dearth of our planet, this stuff, and it is manipulated and controlled, again bound into a format that references for me to Sydney Harbour Bridge. It's quite quirky, both in its use of materials and the way in which it's pulled together in form, but I love the use of materials, the metal and the plastic and the way they combine together, and there's a playfulness, a quirkiness about it that I really enjoyed. Well done, Susie Timmer. When I was walking around the room, I was at great pains not to look at any of the names, and in fact I didn't look at any of the titles until I gathered together a list of works that I was really intrigued by and engaged with. So this one here is by Pam McGregor, and it's called A Trip Window. And for me, this is about iconography. It's not about sign and symbol. It's almost ET-ish in its first presentation, but it's about land and about place. This is the symbol of the place. This is the objects that are taken from that place and placed into the work. It's both a visual language and a written language, this one, and it harks back to cultures past many times. Well done.
And number 3 is?
Oh, congratulations, Susan Doherty, for this little piece. It's called Bohemian, and I love this little piece. I loved the duality of the soft braided wound bound cloth and these, which I think are ceramic, but it also for me is about the body itself, because this is bone, references bone and skeleton, and these are the things that bind it together. So it's both something that represents the internal and something that can be worn externally.
Oh, it's beautiful on you, I must say.
I do like this one. So congratulations again, third prize, Susan Doherty.
Number 2 goes to
Romana Tosin. This is a quiet work. In this room full of rich textures and vibrant colours, this one is quiet. It's almost singular colour, although there's very, very subtle, soft changes in colour. But it's a work that I kept coming back to all the time. I'd walk around the room, I kept coming back to it. It was because of the way the work moves out of its space. It's in fact a sculpture, but in miniature. So I can see that work being horizontal, being on the wall, being on the body, being in a vitrine, in a glass case. I love this little work. And so she's to be congratulated for producing something very subtle. So this one is my first prize, and this one jumped out at me right from the word go. It's by Caitlin Lewis, so congratulations. This is quirky, it's sculptural, it plays with titles called Heartthrob, it references popular culture, popular literature, it plays with all of those ideas in the art and in literature and in film. It, for me, was something that was so unusual. It's not only a literal heart, but it is a soft heart. When you touch it, there's that felted surface, makes it something that's worth touching and holding dear. So whether you wear this on your heart, on your sleeve, on your body, it's something to be treasured. And I didn't realise this at the time, but I'd awarded this first place. I'd written down Caitlin's name on my list, and then I was told that if you press it, it's got a heartbeat. And I went, oh yeah, right choice. It was wonderful, very playful, very quirky, and very deserving of first place. Okay, so I was very thrilled to be asked by Wilma to judge this. This is my hometown, and I like to feel like I'm making some sort of contribution, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to work
Jen,
with you.
we thank you. This is such a difficult job, and we just were so grateful that you said yes, and thank you for your wisdom, thank you for your advice, and thank you very much for your generous comments to all of the participants and all of the winners.
The complete selection of the room was delightful to see them en masse, and the way they were displayed is a credit to the gallery. Thank you.
And we also encourage every single artist, textile and fibre artist out there to start thinking for Broaching the Subject number 4 in 2020.
Fantastic.